Hey everybody, it's Amy Graham, the Badass Valkyrie, and I wanted to kind of go over how the first quarter of 2023 has gone. It has been better than I expected, and I've kept up as well as I kind of thought I would, but it has gone much faster than I had expected. It seems like 2 weeks ago it was January. And I'm like, holy cow. So, yeah, I am still trying to catch up with some things from a few weeks, and you'll kind of see that in here. But all in all, it has gone fairly well. I have started the second quarter fairly strong. So here's hoping. But I just wanted to kind of give you this is where I'm at kind of thing. So this is my health tracker, and it's where I keep all of my data and everything from my Oura Ring and from my Garmin. But this is a Hobanichi weeks, and here's where I track my weight. Obviously, I did not put anything in here, any miles or anything for March. I will probably go back and go through my data and see if I've got that, but it just now occurred to me that I did not update that. But this is one of the few books that I have that I will go back and look things up and add things that I might have missed. Otherwise, in my day-to-day, it's like if I miss a day, unless there's something big, I usually don't backfill. But starting in January, this actually started January 1st. I tend to not go back into December or November unless there's something that I want to track forward. I like to have 1 year in my books. That's it. And I will go to the end of the year in my book as well. So this is how January started. Or 2023 started. That was January. This is February. And this is March. Both my watch and my ring were dead on these 2 days. So I have to just kind of let that be and just be like, okay. But this is April starting here. Then we jump to the weeks. And let me get to that here. Where is it? All right. So it started January 1st, 2023. Most of this week was in my previous book. I did put that in here. And I carried forward when I started my supernatural streak in 2022 so that I knew when it would end. So this is how January looked. And I go in and I put how I'm feeling when I've done my light therapy, which I use a red light for concussion therapy for a concussion study that I have been a part in for the last 2 years. Then I put what my pain scale is overall, my mood overall, and my energy overall here. And I keep track of that. I write it down in the back of my weeks so that I know I always have the same reference, and so it doesn't change. So that's my mood scale, and this is my energy levels. And these I just pulled off of the web. I kind of adjusted them to my own feelings and things of how I wanted to track them and how I would separate them. But there are several hundred different scales out there. So the most important thing for me was that if I take this to my doctor and he sees that I'm 3s across the board, I can explain what a 3 is versus a 4 through 7 or 8 through 10. So he knew exactly what the scales were for me as well. Anyway, so this is how it started. And almost every week, except for here, and I've said it in the past, I have no idea what happened at that point in time, why I didn't write that down. But most of the time, this is the one I've been most consistent with for getting into February and then March. And I'm like, no idea what happened. Here is, other than the, let's see, when did I go? Okay, so on Monday of this week, I actually went in because of the pain in my shoulder, and I was put on 1 to 2 weeks bed rest, or not bed rest, but resting that muscle. And so that kind of ended my supernatural streak. So it went from January 31st, 2022 to March 13th, 2023. Sad, but I think actually it ended on the 11th because I did not do anything. All right, yeah, no supernatural. So my streak ended on the 11th, not the 20th. That was when I went to the doctor. Anyway, so this was last week, and this is this week. So I do actually have my my updates, what I actually did. I have got back into doing supernatural, and I started it back up on Saturday. I did a test on Wednesday and it worked well, but again, when I can, I will go back and look at this, but this is this week, and this is where it's at. So this one I have been the most consistent in, and I do or will go back and update as I know that I can for that. So we're going to go ahead and jump into my Hobonichi Cousin. And as the first quarter being in an entire cousin instead of the 2 books, which is the Hobanichi Cousin avec, this is the first year I'm using a full cousin. And I got to say, I like it. Do I think that I will continue with the cousin? I don't know. I certainly will if they don't have the English version of the Cousin avec next year, but so far, so good. I'm actually liking having everything in here. And this is kind of where I had certain things that I wanted to kind of move forward in my cousin. So these are all duplicate entries from my December in my Cousin avec from last year. But this is where January started. I do use the bullet journal method in my Hobanichi, and it is on the monthly view. It's kind of a short synopsis of what happened that day, if there were any major events or anything like that. And it's sort of like your 1 line a day that you would put in like a bullet journal. So I have found over the years that that works best for me, and I didn't see any need to change it. This was how February looked, and this was March. And again, some days I put it in there, some days I don't. If it's just a day, you know, I don't. Right now, I will be completely honest, the snow is making me insane and makes me not want to do anything. If there are sunny days, I am much more apt to want to, you know, have a high energy day versus snow, drab, and dreary days, which is kind of what today is. So this is today, and I'm actually filming this on my lunch hour, but it probably won't go up until Tuesday. I can't do an upload while Greg is working at home, and so I'll probably have this go up tomorrow. Anyway, this is how the month looked at a snapshot. Going into the weeks, this is where the first started. Again, I added some things to it from December, but this is where January truly started. And I am, instead of blocking this off for gratitude, I'm actually looking at my full schedule and when I'm going to bed. I am trying to get back on a regular schedule. And I felt like when I blocked this off, I wasn't getting a true view of my day, just because my bedtimes were just seemed to always just be, I don't know, even when I blocked this off, and it didn't really stand out to me as much, but doing it like this, yeah, it definitely stands out more to me. This was January. And we jump into February here. And everything that you see in red is my work schedule. So I do put both work and my home life, etc. in this. This is the only weekly view schedule that I follow other than my Outlook schedule for work. So I tend to try to keep this updated with both. And this jumps into March. And sometimes, like I said, this week, March, I for some reason did not put a lot into the weekly view. Sometimes it's mostly work. Sometimes, I do get to add more into that. This week leading up to this week, this is what I call my Hell Week, because I have an event, a very large event that literally lasted all day long from 6:30 a.m. to almost 9:30 at night. And it's two separate events, but it's all combined into one day. And so I have a prep day and then I have a follow-up day. And then I went straight into an event that I did not run. It's my fun event up in Boise. So I drove up to Boise that weekend. And then this was last week, or I'm sorry, this was last week. And then you jump into today. So that's how my weekly view looks. And then we jump into starting off the year in my dailies. And in my dailies, as you will see, there are times when I write a lot. There are times that I don't write a lot. And that's okay. If I don't write anything, either I wasn't in the mood or I was too busy that day, whatnot. These are things that I am tracking. I have my entire list here of my 12 foundational habits that I am trying to follow for the year. And some days I hit them, some days I don't do all of them every day. I wish I could say that I have, but I haven't. But in this part, this is where I try to keep track here when I get in. And my second quarter, I am trying to focus more on doing that, even if that's the only thing that I get in there for. But I also try to have my to-do list or things that I would like to get done that day. Here's the day or the time that I wake up. If I remember to put it there, it's either there or here. And then I mark when I actually go to bed again on the bottom of that. So I am trying to, for the next quarter, be more cognizant of my day-to-day, my being in the present and putting everything down at least once a day. When I'm at home, this is always open on my desk. When I'm at work, which I work 2 days a week in the office, I usually do not take this with me. And so it kind of gets hit and miss at that point in time. But again, this is my life book, and having days that are blank, it is my life. Do they bother me? No, they really don't. I'm as happy here as I am here, as I am here. So it doesn't affect me. This is my look into my life for a year. And if something major happens, I will go and note that. Sometimes I will go into detail. Sometimes I will not. And it just kind of depends. And we'll go from there. This is jumping into March. And I got a little bit more consistent. But then, like I said, my Hell Week hit. And I just was not being able to handle too much. Coming out of this past 3 years, I have realized that it's okay to be overwhelmed. And sometimes you just have to stop everything just to catch back up again. And a lot of times prior to the pandemic, I forced myself to do whatever it was that I felt like I had to do. And whether it's, physical activity or cleaning the house or just simply noting things in my book. But since the pandemic, I feel like I can check a win for just opening this. I've done way more this year so far than I have in the past 3 years of the pandemic. So that to me is a win. So I am just trying to do the best that I can and go forward. So this is April, and this is how this has looked, and this is today. So that is my Hobonichi Cousin, and it's still in baby, and it probably will be for the first half of the year. I may change it out the second half of the year, who knows. But last but not least, we have my memory keeper, and this is the other weeks that I have, and I don't really put much here yet. I just haven't felt the need to duplicate a lot, but who knows if that will change. But this is where the year started for me. And again, I use this like a bullet journal, and my to-do lists for the week. I try to have a date night, what I'm playing, what I'm watching, what I'm waiting for, trying to do a Finding 52 this year again for myself, and doing it for myself right now just to try to get through it. And then if I have orders placed or orders received, and then any notes for a specific day if I need to. But this is how I've broken it out for my memory keeping, and just kind of a general weekly view that's a little bit different than what's in my cousin. This is what replaced having a bullet journal or my Sumkin book as well. And I tested this towards the end of the year last year in my weeks that I barely got into last year. And so far I have really enjoyed it. This was March. This was my hell week, and this was the following up week, and I just was not in the mood. I did note certain things, but that was about it. This was last week, and then this is this week, and this is how I set it up every week. And I just add to it throughout the week. And then on Sundays, I tend to go in and update for a new one. So that's how these all look for the first quarter. Again, not perfect, but I'm not really going for perfection. I am trying to reestablish my daily routines, and which is a lot to do with this, and get back to where I was pre-pandemic, but in a healthier way. I feel like it is much easier for me to relax and stop when the chaos train tries to run me over. And I can take more time for myself and not feel as stressed, whether it's about work or my mom or anything else. And this is supposed to add to my life, not take away from it. And I feel like sometimes when I'm forcing myself to get in here and do something, that it takes away. And so I am just trying to let it organically happen, but still try to keep ahead of goals and things like that. I will do a separate video on my Moxie Life with the yearly goals that I have in here. But I just wanted to kind of catch you guys up to where I was from the first quarter, and then I will do a separate video about all my setup and everything for the second quarter. I'm still working on my goals for the second quarter, and so we'll kind of go over that when I get into the Moxie Life notebooks. So anyway, I hope you guys had a productive first quarter, and I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to all of you folks that have stayed with me through all of this, and even those people in my life who, you know, don't use planners but still watch my videos anyway. I love you. I appreciate you, and thank all of you for, you know, being here for me, because truly it has helped having this community. Even when I wasn't checking in as much, you guys checking in with me kind of helped move me along and be like, okay, you know, this is something that I need to do. And I appreciate that. And just know that I love the planner community, and I hope to be around for a long time. And it's been interesting watching other creators' videos, and it seems like the entire community is kind of going sort of through this. There's no rhyme or reason, but, you know, that we all are coming out of this traumatic experience together and learning a new way forward. And interestingly enough, though, I will say that with just these 3 planners, I am pretty much at peace with what I've done and how I've come to these. And so sure, there will be, you know, smaller tweaks and changes, you know, along the way, but by and large, these have served me the best over the years. And that part of it, I'm not really, you know, unhappy with, because it's something I know I can get into, and I understand, and I know how I want to move forward with it. And, you know, as much as any of us can say planner piece, Hobanichi has kind of been my sweet spot for a long time. And I don't really feel the need or the urge to go, oh, I've got to change things up, or I've got to do something different. It has been a constant that has been a comfort to me. And hopefully, you know, they continue to make improvements and add more English versions out there throughout the years. That would make me so, so happy. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will hopefully have another video up soon, and I will talk to you again later. Bye.